where we bring you nothing but the best. And the guests that we have on this show, and we try to bring you nothing but the truth and the whole truth, okay? First, let's pay some bills. We like to thank Connie Specialty Cakes and Desserts for sponsoring Bllackkoutt TV. Connie Specialty Cakes and Desserts is some of the most tasty pastries that you have ever tasted in your life. The cakes are unbelievable. If you don't believe me, go on my page, check out my channel, check out her interview. You will see all the stuff that she has done. And I'm telling you now, it is mind-blowing. Connie Specialty Cakes and Desserts is located in Ohio, but she can also deliver to you wherever you are. She will let you know how far when you contact her, okay? Again, go online, type in Connie Specialty Cakes and Desserts.com. Now that we got the bills out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. That's right. I have her, Miss Amanda Haeg. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Thanks, Tony.
We finally got her here. We gotta give it up. Keep it going for Amanda Haeg. Yes. So what's going on?
I'm excited to be here with you. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, no, we're excited. We're excited. We're sitting down with a legend. Now, we're going to, since this is your first time here at Bllackkoutt TV, we want to jump right into your story at the beginning.
Okay.
We want to know, the viewers would love to know, how did Amanda Haeg become this dominant force in football? What started all that back like, you can start back when you was like, I guess, as a little kid playing sports, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely did. You know, neighborhood things were probably the first. Certainly football with the neighborhood kids was a great thing to start with. And
Okay.
I felt very lucky. I got to do almost any sport. Every sport that I asked to play, I got to try and do a camp for. And I actually remember in middle school being the only girl at the summer football camp. And it was awesome that the coaches were very welcoming and let me be part of the guys for that. And then really just carried through into all kinds of traveling sports and high school sports and then college. And I love being on the field or on the court and being part of a team. So just kept going and finding the next place to play.
So now, was it difficult for you? I mean, was you always like that athletic? Was you like more, I'm gonna try something, but didn't follow it through, or did you always play in a controlled sport?
A controlled sport meaning like just join a team and stay on a team, or?
Yeah.
I mean, I did those summer camps and all different kinds of ones to try new things, but I had main sports, which were track and field and volleyball and basketball. I played softball for a little while. I danced for a little while, but the volleyball, basketball, and track were my main high school sports. And then I played volleyball in college. And once I finished college volleyball, I kind of was like, well, now what am I going to do? I spent my whole life playing sports, and how do I want to be active? And that's when I found out about the passion. So it was really right in front of me, right when I needed it, which was wonderful. I'd say mostly I have the natural talent. My parents were pretty athletic and our families, so I was blessed with that, and I just enjoyed the being on the field or on the court and just letting it happen. I wasn't necessarily the most dedicated, staying out there practicing by myself all the time. Looking back, I wish I had done that more, but I am thankful for what I've naturally been able to do because I've met a lot of great people and had wonderful experiences because of it.
Now, you say volleyball, and you played in college, right?
I did.
Now, that kind of has something to do with you being a great wide receiver, right?
I mean, I wish sometimes I could go back and count how many times we jumped a day because I was jumping all the time. And that certainly played a part. I think that was one of the reasons why I primarily was more of like a mid route target because I could, go across the field and be a larger target than a lot of people could because of my reach and being able to jump. And so it was definitely the volleyball added an aspect that branched into football very well for sure.
Well, and you say you run track, so I gotta bring this up. I saw footage of you in 20. I don't know if it was 20. It might have been 2013. You was playing the Comets.
Okay.
And you got the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
You hesitated. You took off up the middle, and I mean there was nothing but green grass in front of you. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, somebody tracked you down.
She did.
I said, "Wow!" I thought you was gone. I mean, you was in full sprint like you ran track. That's why when you said track, I'm like, you did look like you was a sprinter. But did you run out of gas, or was it, or did you? I
don't remember slowing down per se, but I would say there are benefits to having short strides, and I have a very long stride, so I don't look very quick. But she just caught my foot at the right time because my feet weren't moving as quickly, I guess. So that was the only time I got caught by a shoe.
You looked it really fast.
Well,
you looked it fast. No, you didn't look slow at all. You didn't look slow at all. You looked it pretty fast. But from what I'm hearing, you played some quarterback for the past.
I did. Well, I had one season where I played quarterback, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I played the position of quarterback, but there are a lot of skills that position requires and a lot of time that it takes to really learn how to know your whole offense and read a defense. And I would say primarily my default was just on whatever naturally happened. And I'm thankful that it went well for us that season, but very thankful that Lisa came back because there's no comparison to having a quarterback like Lisa Horton.
Yeah, Lisa Horton is very, very special. She actually texted me today, right before this interview, to let me know that she's okay. She had a lot going on. We were supposed to interview her. We're still going to interview her. She's probably watching this broadcast right now. What I wanted to ask you was, playing with a talented, let's just say a multitude of talent on that team, because, I mean, all of y'all was just ridiculous on both sides of the ball. But I saw how they have a lot of you players was playing both sides, offense and defense. Did you ever play any defense at all?
I would randomly be put in at safety when we thought they might punt, but maybe not because I returned. But I didn't play regularly for contact. I was primarily offense and special teams. And the range of athletes on the team is unbelievable. It's one of the standout things looking back at it, because I've been watching a bunch of the film and just excited about this and seeing, like, one of the reasons I love football so much is it isn't the stereotypical like swimmer look or volleyball look, like where you need a particular type of build to be good at playing on that type of team in that sport. Football, you have all different diversity of needs of what someone's athleticism and skills would be. And we had so many amazing athletes. It was really cool to see that because my experience beforehand wasn't quite as diverse. And some people played multiple, offense, defense, special teams because we
Mhm.
had all of that skill level that you want to bring to the game. And then depending upon the season, different numbers of people on the team. So you're trying to, continue to be the best performing team that you have and might not have enough people to be a wide range on both sides of the field without overlapping anybody or using them twice. But
Now, was you ever afraid of getting hurt? I mean, you have you have your own business. You have your own practice as far as you're a licensed chiropractor.
yes, I am. I have an office here in Minnesota where I live, and I did not play while I had my own business. I played when I was an athletic trainer at Duquesne University, and then when I was in school for
Oh,
chiropractic.
oh, you was an athletic trainer, okay?
Yep.
So you didn't have any worries of being hurt or getting
Mm.
hurt to the point where you not only can play football, but you know what I mean? Have you ever, or I'll put it this way, have you ever been hit so hard where you said, you know what, maybe, you start thinking maybe I shouldn't be doing this?
I wasn't hit in a way that made me question that. I mean, there's always could I get hurt in this sport for any sport, no matter what you're doing? And
Right.
certainly it took time to not flinch, if you will, like to be comfortable knowing that you're going to be okay being hit, or in particular, learning how to hit. That was one of the things I found interesting is every year I found more of my own strength in being able to block and to tackle on special teams. And so that physicality, you could kind of like grow into it. But I had my own injury, but I can remember a couple hits that were more impactful, like ribs and different things. But one in particular was the year that I did play quarterback. I was sacked, and there were two linewomen who were very good, clearly, both sacked me at the same time. And we fell where one of my knees was in my chest and the other leg was straight behind me. And it basically
Ooh.
did my pelvis, like one forward and one backwards. And now I know what happened, but it basically made all of my inner thigh and pelvic floor and core muscles not engage in the proper way. So I wasn't able to walk without pain or run without pain. And this injury happened, I think, halfway through the season. So we still had the rest of the regular season and playoffs, and it was certainly the most significant injury that I've experienced myself. And it's actually what got me into chiropractic because I tried a lot of things to get better, and chiropractic was the main thing that got me back to running without pain, which was something I didn't expect was going to happen.
So you're saying you continued the rest of the season in pain. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily in pain standing, but every step that I took, whether it was a walk or a run, was painful. And so I don't remember that I practiced as regularly during that time because I'd be trying to get ready for our games. And it's a very interesting dynamic. Certainly as an athletic trainer, I spent so much time helping people get back to their sport. And then to have something that I was dealing with that we weren't really finding what it would take for me to get back on the field. And it was significantly impactful. I essentially changed the whole path of my life because all of those things I tried to do to help it didn't work. And then chiropractic did, and it helped me within 2 weeks. I went from walking and jogging with pain to jogging without pain in 2 weeks. And I mean, I was like a 6-month injury. So for 6 months, I had issues. And then all of a sudden, I was almost back to normal.
You know what? Amanda Haeg, are you guys out there hearing this? That's dedication. That's dedication to not only herself, but to her teammates. She put everything ahead of her. She wasn't selfish. Oh my God.
There was a lot of players, a lot of teams that did that. It's for the love of the game, right? And family.
That is, you know what? That's why we do shows like this. That's why we do shows. Women need to be out there, heard for what the accomplishments they are doing. They get hurt, they keep playing. Now, I know some guys that'll get hurt and won't keep playing. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just the more I learn about you guys' sport and everything you have done in that sport, it's mind-blowing. Like how volleyball, because you're a wide receiver, so when you hear what you was doing prior to being a wide receiver for the Passions, it's almost like if you was being groomed and molded to be the legend you are. I mean, Chick ran track. She's a legend.
I certainly attribute it.
Rachel Wadowski, same thing. She was a basketball star. Turned out wide receiver. That contributed to that. It's wild to hear it. But when you start breaking it down and start really getting to the bottom of everything, you start finding out what really molded you into what you are. Because, like I said, Lisa Horton would throw the ball in some awkward places, and you would just come down with the ball. I mean, that's just you got to excuse me. I'm a little starstruck right now because I'm actually, you know, when I see you guys play on that field, it's amazing. Like, you guys are really talented. But then I think back of what Tia Montgomery told me. She said at practice, all you ladies used to come in 3-piece suits, 2-piece suits, like with heels on, natty stilettos. Like, wait a minute. You know, are they coming to play football or model? But then she said, when you guys got on that field, completely different story.
That's true. That's actually, I think, one of the takeaways that a lot of us valued is there's such a wide range of expression, and being able to do your everyday profession in life and come and be athletic and be part of an amazing team of great people that is a family. Like, you get to have the best of both, which is why we all did it, why we all went to late night practices and long bus rides where we'd get off the bus a couple hours before the game and then get on the bus again afterwards. Those are not the most ideal scenarios for an athletic performance, but it was what was required, and we all would keep doing it if we could.
Well, I mean, Tia's talking about going back. Rachel's talking about going back. OG actually went to the Texas Elite down in Texas, and she went down there and actually won Defensive Player of the Year. So everything she was doing up here, I kind of knew she was going to go down there and do that. I kind of knew she was going to go down there and do that. But the type of bond you ladies had on that team had to be special, because now, although you have a lot of teams that are good, but they have their problems. Mm-hmm. Like Antonio Brown with the Patriots, how he just walked off. How you got like some players that just feel like they don't like the coach, or they don't like the quarterback. It's always something.
Mm-hmm.
But with you guys, it seemed like it was just like a family. Like you guys were like family. You know what I mean? If one got hurt, you would see the sideline view of you guys like consoling the one that came out, patting them on the back. It's okay. It's when we got this. That type of stuff. So was it always like that, or was there interaction where sometimes women just don't want to speak to nobody and stuff like that, but you, at the end of the day, everybody know you got a game to win. So, I mean, was it kind of like that?
I mean, I think you hit it. Like, once we got on the field, it didn't matter what else was going on. It's a group of people, period, is going to have levels of drama and differences of opinion, but every single one of us was there because of the love of football and wanting to play, and everything came together when we were on the field. So I think it was one of the most special.
Auxiliary mode.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Technical difficulty, folks. Technical difficulties. One of our guys didn't show up, and I have to fill in. So you have to excuse me. Well, now getting back to the part that you were saying, when everybody's on the field, you know what you have to do, put everything else aside. Mm-hmm. Now, how about that bus ride home? Like, because I know people want to know what happens. Nobody knows outside the team. So here we are outside the team. We're asking Amanda Haeg, can you give us the details of how that bus ride is coming home when somebody or your team has had a bad game? Is there any arguing or bickering or?
I honestly don't remember that. I think that we really just all wanted the same thing. There's how many people on a team? I'm only one person with so many interactions. So to think that it didn't happen, I think is probably likely that some things did happen, but we were all there for the same reason. So it doesn't stand out to me as being an environment that would foster a lot of that animosity. But again, I'm only one person.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, you can give us the scoop.
I think if anything, there's competitive things, and women are competitive in a different way, I think. And so learning about each other and having that many different personalities can certainly be challenging. But I'm thankful in some aspects that I wasn't a coach where you're having to manage everyone. I was focused just on what I was there to do and how I was there to show up. So really keeping it all football is really the biggest thing that I remember. Certainly had some people I was closer with and more friendly with, and I still remember that being very supportive in any type of competitive or we want something to happen differently. We all were, how can I be better for this team? How could I have done better? I don't remember a lot of finger pointing.
Well, okay. Now let's shift this to a more serious note. How do you feel about, or do you feel you guys should have been paid?
When I look at a lot of different aspects of it and looking back, I say I wouldn't change anything, any aspect of it to put money in my pocket. And I think a lot of people would agree with that and feel the same. But I think that there's certainly room for growth in the league and getting to a place where players are paid for their time, for their effort. How do we get there? There's, nobody can know the one set path, but I would say a first step would be for other teams within the leagues to adopt more of the framework that the Passion had, where I could make money if I found more and more sponsorships. Once you hit whatever that amount was, that was the target goal, you could keep going and you would be getting a significant percentage of that money coming back to you. So there was every opportunity for people to make money, but when you look at us having full-time jobs and families and whatever
Mhm.
else, if you want to get to the level of getting paid, you're probably going to need more of a time commitment, and a lot of us wouldn't have had that to give. So unless you get more teams in the leagues doing what we did and bringing the competitive level up to where we can get more of the interest from big money, like what you've talked about in your other videos with Rachel and with Chick, like it'd be awesome to have a team sponsor, an NFL team sponsor one of us, or have more big name sponsors. But if it only happens with one team, where do we go? We need it to be more collective, step up, and then get beyond from there. But I have an interesting thought in that. I wonder what your opinion would be, because if we bring more money into it and we spend more time playing, would we get to a point where it becomes more about the money and the performance and less about the team and the family? Because we all were part of a family and playing the sport we love. Whereas when you get contracts and money, I'd like to hear your thoughts on whether that would totally change the nature of the whole aspect.
Well, I don't think that it would change that much. And I'll tell you why I said that. Because you have, I don't know, what, 60, 70 women playing football? So on one team. Now, everybody cannot afford to pay for their insurance. Everybody cannot afford to pay for their certain uniforms or bags and stuff like that. So everybody's not on the same level as far as across the board, as far as with what they are able and willing to pay. Now, my opinion as far as that is, you women should not have to provide your own health insurance when it comes to playing football, especially if somebody is making money off of your talent. Now, your talent is what's paying the bills for everybody else, except yourself. You got to think about this. Concession, food, drinks, stuff like jerseys, hats, scarves, t-shirts, bandanas, anything that got past your name on it. You're not getting none of that. It's $20 to get into the game. You're not getting none of that. Now, I understand referees have to be paid. I understand that promotions have to be paid. I understand that the TV broadcasting, it has to be paid. That's all well and good. They do have to be paid, right? That they have to be paid. So, because if you don't, nobody would even see your games. So that's a necessary. Okay, that right there has to be primary. But if you go even further and deeper into it than that, you have to start saying stuff like, well, if all these people have to be paid, why can't I be paid for my talent? Okay, the minute they label you women as women's professional football, okay, so the minute that they put the word professional up there, money should have came with that. No matter what sport that you're talking about, if they say professional, that sport is being paid. The only sport that's not getting paid with professional in front of it are you guys. That's not fair.
Well, I think that's appears to be your motivation in wanting to bring us on and spread the word, is get us to a point where that name does mean that there's money going to the players. I don't think I have a perspective of what happened while I played to say that anyone made any money. I think all of it ended up turning back around and going back into the team and to all of the things you just listed that made us arguably one of the most well-known teams that exists in women's football, at least when I stopped playing. So I look at that as an investment into the team, and then the opening into where we and you would like it to go is where professional does mean we get some money. And that's where branching out and getting more people on top of it and aware of it will help us to get there.
Yeah. Well, now I'm not now. Okay, some people at the top might say, well, they're just being selfish. They're just being greedy. No. The women just want what's coming to them, just like the men. Okay? They just want what's coming to them. Lingerie football getting paid.
I think there are women who do want to get paid to play. But
okay,
I think
let's put it this way. Say you get hurt, right? Say you get a concussion. Tia Montgomery has had 2 concussions in her whole time playing. Now, who's to say that them 2 concussions won't come back to haunt her? This is the whole reason why the NFL had to pay all those older players way back in the day millions and millions of dollars because of the concussions that they occurred while playing football. Okay?
Right, because the NFL made money on that.
Exactly. But
if there's no one making money on us right now, it's our own choice to go out and to play. And I did have an injury that changed every aspect of my life, and it made me not able to do my job. You can't run out on a field to help an athlete that's hurt if you can't run. So it absolutely is something that I understand the aspect of, but I did not go at any point to say someone else should be paying for this. So that's where we get to the looking at the past and, how it happened and what was good and what we can learn from it, and then how we move forward, making sure that everyone has the insurance to help pay for injuries. Maybe that's a first step. Maybe it's all of your doctor bills that were related to playing are covered, but we still need the money to come from somewhere. And if the only money in the past has gone back into the team, then it's still a matter of how we move forward, not necessarily questioning what did happen.
You cannot honestly think that someone's not getting paid off of you.
I don't think anyone got paid from when I was playing, and arguably probably throughout the whole league, at least through 2014 when I played.
No. I ain't talking
Every
about
owner that I know did not get money.
Really?
Yeah.
No owners got paid.
Well, again, I'm only one person with only so many connections, but from everything that I'm aware of, no owner got paid, primarily in large part because they just put their own money into having the team because they enjoyed it as much as they did. Now if there is money going into a pocket, I totally understand having every question that you're asking. So maybe it needs to be directed at someone who is an owner. I think it would be awesome for you to be able to sit down with some as you keep going through this.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I am in the process of being able to talk to the owner of the Texas Elite that OG plays for. Right. And we will find out from an owner's point of view of how they feel the league should go and where they want it to be and where they want it to go. Because, like I said, so far I was just interviewing the players, getting their understanding of how you guys feel during the process of playing this contact sport. Right? Now,
yes.
Once I start talking to management, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get into talking to management, the owners, the coaches, stuff like that. Because until we get the whole story of why the NFL is not involved. Because this is not like you guys have just been doing this for the last 20 years. This was just made up 20 years ago. Women's football been going on since 1939. This is 82 years old. 82 years old. So this is like, I heard one of the players say off camera, well, we're just trying to pave the way for those coming after us. Mm-hmm. How much paving does this ground need? It's 82 years old. How much paving? That's a lot of pavement. So at some point, we need to start being compensated for our talent. It's not asking for too much. Even the coaches, they have talent. I'm not saying just for you women, just for the players. The coaches have talent, right? The person who got to clean up after you guys, after the locker is all gone, y'all don't sit there and clean and sweep and do all that. No, there's people that come in when y'all leave and clean that up. Now, I had a discussion with Rachel Wadowski as far as this. There's money that can be freed up for either insurance, to help out with insurance, or to help out with trying to find a way to get you ladies paid. Now, a start on that would be, you're paying $800, $900, $1,000, $1,500, $1,200 to practice on a field for 3 days out of the week? So that practice field that you're on, you're paying for it. But why are you paying for it? Okay? Pitt Panthers lost their field. Their field got imploded, cleaned up, and they put dorms up for the students, right? So now they had no field. So what did they do? They went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, to the Roonies, and now they share their field, their practice field, their stuff. They're using their equipment. Why can't somebody in the organization for you women go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, go to the Roonies and say, hey, look, this is what we have. Now, one of your sponsors is Franco Harris, a former running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Franco Harris, number 32. Everybody knows him, the immaculate catch, right? Okay, you got his jersey on. Yep, right there. Yeah. Why hasn't he done more? I ain't talking money-wise. I'm talking, why is he not down there talking to the Roonies, who he has a lot of respect for? They have a huge tons of respect for him and what he gave to their family and to their sport. I mean, their team. Why can't he go down there and say, hey, look, let's look into this. Let's look more into this. I need you guys to come over, step over the line, and look more into this. WNBA didn't just come along and start making, no, they struggled too, but the birth of them wasn't out there as long as you guys.
Right.
And they're being paid. They're being televised, they're being paid, them women are happy. Why can't you guys get the same treatment? You're taking the same risk as the men, right? NFL, you're taking the same hits. You're taking the same risk for concussions. You're taking the same risk for injuries, broken legs, broken ribs, broken jaw, spinal injuries, a threat of being paralyzed, like Ryan Shazier, whose jersey I have on, and big ups to Ryan Shazier because he is back walking again. Yes. But at what point do everybody say, you know what? Somebody got to speak up for us. And that's what Bllackkoutt TV is doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to put that awareness out there. Because until people actually hear it, nobody's going to do nothing. It's like It's like seeing something on the ground and you step over it and keep walking. But until you know the reason why that person's laying on the ground, you don't really have no feelings one way or another. You just want to get out the way so they don't trip you up. But if you knew the story of that person, you allowed to reach down, hand them a coffee, something from McDonald's, and probably a little bit of cash that's in your pocket. That's all. It's just awareness. And I feel like you ladies really deserve it. Really deserve it. Women's Professional Football Hall of Fame. You, Rachel Wadowski, Chick, Lisa Horton, Olivia Griswold, Nelko, Tia Montgomery. I mean, the safety y'all had,
Alex.
number 2.
Yeah.
What was her last name?
The announcers say McAtee. I'm not sure. It's not Katie, but yeah.
Yeah, it's McAtee. That's what was on her jersey.
Yeah.
Now, she's what? Every bit of 4'4", and hit like a tank. Yeah. I mean, hit like a tank. I seen her hit women so hard where they was literally out the game. Like, it was ridiculous. They had to carry them out the game. I said, oh my God. You know, some of them might have been late hits. The whistle wasn't blown. She didn't get a flag, so she's vicious. She's very vicious. Y'all had women on that team, on that defense that was so vicious. I'm pretty sure you sat on the sideline and said, whoo, I'm so glad they played for us. Like,
very much so, yeah. And that we didn't really play full contact in practice. We didn't really hit much in practice.
No full contact in practice?
I mean, there at times we certainly did, and for certain drills we did, but when we were like running plays and, you know, offense, defense, we weren't live. I don't know how other teams or leagues do it, but you're gonna increased risk of getting hurt if you're hitting every single play, every single practice.
That's interesting right there. I've never had that conversation with anybody else. That's interesting. I would love to have that conversation with you right now. How was it in practice? Like, is it more intense for endurance or strength? Like, do you women lift weights? Do you do the whole practice thing, lift weights, do the bull ring? You know what I'm talking about when I say bull ring?
I don't.
One player stands in the middle, and a lot of other players surround this person in a circle, and a number gets called out. Whatever player number get called out, got to charge and attack the person in the middle. You got to defend yourself. Y'all never done that?
I don't remember that one. We had some others that were certainly full contact in like close quarters. I don't remember the names of the drills, but it was a lot of endurance and skill work in practices because we only had the 3 hours twice a week or 3 times a week that we would be practicing. And then the strength work was more individual. And then most of the years with Lisa being involved, she would, you know, write up a whole lifting program for us. And it would be something that we could do on our own, or we could collectively get together for when we had set times for that. But it wasn't the same, everyone always there like the practice was.
Oh, okay. Well, Amanda, you are amazing. I can't wait to put your footage up. We watch all y'all's footage, and for some reason, each one of you are so amazing in your own way. That's what made me really thirst to do this, because I said, oh man, I gotta, the country needs to see this. This is ridiculous. Everybody needs to see this. You are all amazing. I appreciate
you using your platform for that.
Huh?
I appreciate you using your platform to spread the word. I know we all loved playing. And the team that's going now, I'm excited that they have games coming up this year, and they're probably going to be at West Allegheny, I think. I'm not sure exactly, but they're going to have live games this year, and even they're talking about having some on TV. I think ESPN too. But you got to keep an eye on things so you can find out where you can follow everyone this coming season.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm definitely doing that. I'm definitely doing that. I saw they posted the 2019 and stuff like that seasons and stuff. So I got to get into the newer seasons. We got Jocelyn Fassner just text in. Amanda is an incredible player. Yes, she is. Yes. Yes. Wait a minute. We got Connie Williams. That's great dedication. Yes. See what I'm saying? So right there. Okay, here we go. Yep, we need to support the ladies. See? Jocelyn Fassner. She just said we need to support the ladies. Yes, there you go. See? There you go. Everybody loves what you guys are doing. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. I'm just the guy who's taking an opportunity to let you women, give you women a platform to have a voice to say whatever you want and to express your feelings the way you want without somebody censoring it, right? So, they might say, oh, well, you can't say this. You can say this, but you can't say this. No, we're not doing that. You say whatever you want. You say how you feel. You don't have to worry about backlash. No, that's not going to happen because nobody is mind readers. So people need to know how you really feel. And I know how we feel about you. And I feel like you and your jersey deserve to be in the Hall of Fame for the Women's Professional Football Hall of Fame right there at the top of the list, along with everybody else. Because when I look back at it, you have contributed a lot. How many years did you play?
I was trying to count it before. I played 7 years. I joined right after they won the championship in 08, and then played through the championship in 14.
So you played 7 years as wide receiver.
I played a little bit of receiver my first couple of years. It was a lot more running back, actually. And then I had the season at quarterback and then back to receiver after that. So it got to be a little bit of everything on offense.
Okay, Jocelyn Fassner is asking you a question. She wants to know, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part of playing. I like, it was amazing to be part of a family, to have such a diverse group of women with a common goal and the love of the game. That was very, very special. And I personally find a lot of value in being on a field or on a court and just like, you're not thinking about life. You're not thinking about stuff. It's just you're reacting to what's happening. And when you get to have the dynamic of reacting to a sport that you love with a group of women that you love and are all on the same page, you really can't compare that to anything else.
That's true. That's true. That is very much true. Well, you guys who are watching, you know what to do. You know what I mean? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for notifications. This is the type of stories that Bllackkoutt TV has been bringing. We are going to continue to bring more like this. Amanda Haeg is one of the legends of women's professional football. We're not talking lingerie. We're talking women's professional football at its best. At its best. Y'all used to blow teams out. Like literally 30, 40 points before half. It's ridiculous. And excuse me, I got a little choked up there because I just can't believe how, if you're winning by 50 by half, why even come out to play the rest of the game?
Because we like playing.
Y'all like beating up on people.
Well, one of the nice things in some of those seasons was there were certain ones where we didn't have a cap on the number of players that could be on the roster. And whether we did have a cap or didn't, no matter how many people we had, there were a lot of women that contributed a lot of time and energy to coming to practices that weren't necessarily in the first string of any of the different, offense, defense, special teams. So now we got to have the opportunity for all of the other players to have experience on the field because that's what we're all there for.
Well, Amanda, we love you at Bllackkoutt TV. We like to thank you for the interview. And before we go, what you holding up over there? Oh. One of my guys want to know, how tall are you?
5'8".
5'8"? You look like you about 6'4" when you playing though.
It's very interesting because I'm not the tallest person, but somehow with the cleats and on the field, it looks like it. Yeah.
You look tall. Standing next to Rachel, you and Rachel look like the tallest on the team.
She's taller than me, and I just was watching all of the 2014 home games that were on the RMG, and Kate Sullivan was taller than me for sure. I think she's taller than Rachel also. So when we had, the three of us and primary targets for offense, and Baker was so quick she could beat anybody. But yeah, height wise, it's interesting which positions it was helpful for. And like Alex, I think her size made her just right angled into people for all of those tackles at safety. That was pretty awesome.
Well, there's nothing in this world more awesome than you.
Well, that's kind of you to say. Thank you very much for doing that.
You are a true legend. You are a true legend. So we are coming to the end of this interview. And I would just like to say to everybody out there that Rachel Wadowski, Amanda Haeg are two of the elite wide receivers that I have ever seen in my life. Ever. And it's always a joy watching you guys play. I wish you guys could still be playing. I really do. I think you would dominate the game now more so than you did then. And it's just a treat. It's even more of a treat to have you here interviewing in the studio. So for everybody out there, this is Amanda Haeg. Once again, number 7 on the Passions. Google it, look it up. You can watch her perform. Her part 2 footage will be posted. It's coming soon. So you will actually see her talent. hit that bell, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. For everybody else out there, it's better to stay 6 feet apart than 6 feet deep. I'm your host, Tony Bllackkoutt Williams. Thank you for tuning in to Bllackkoutt TV. Peace.